All right, let's waste no time and get into this mock draft, the New York Giants 7-round mock draft 2.0 here before next week. This one includes trades. Our first one did not. And yeah, here we go. We don't trade pick 3, though. Round 1, pick 3, edge rusher Abdul Carter out of Penn State. You're going to assume that the quarterbacks go 1 and 2 here with Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders. So the Giants are left with the decision to make Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter. And they go with the edge rusher to complete that defensive line. 2024 stats, 80 tackles, 12 sacks, 23.5 tackles for loss, 2 forced fumbles, 5 pass breakups. The unanimous All-American in 2024, a Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. Obviously, his positives, he's able to switch from off-ball linebacker to edge this season and has been really, really impressive, especially in the postseason that we saw with him at Penn State. Impressive bursts off the line of scrimmage also to win around those edge rushers, those offensive tackles as an edge rusher. And he's shown a variety of really good dip movement as a pass rusher. And he has one of the quickest change of speeds and directional skills that we've seen in a long time in college football, especially from edge rushers. And that's why the Giants have really no other decision, I would say, than to take him at 3. Obviously, Travis Hunter is the number 1 contender there, and I understand why people might want to take him, but I just think that Abdul Carter to complete this defensive line is too valuable at that pick at 3, and that's who the Giants and Alex, who ran this mock draft, ends up taking.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can't go wrong, and it's going to be a tough decision there at 3. I think you get a lot of different things with both guys. I think Abdul Carter, more of an instant impact guy, a higher floor, but Travis Hunter, I mean, if he can do what he can do at both positions, full snaps, I mean, he's undeniably the most, valuable player in this class. But of course, that's the big question mark. And I think the Giants are going to want to go for slightly more of a sure bet here with Abdul Carter. Now going to the end of the first round, Josh, which you're probably thinking, wait a second, we don't have another first round pick. Well, now we do, because the New York Giants traded up 2 spots with the Kansas City Chiefs, 3 spots, or 2 spots. No, I was right initially. In exchange for pick 33, pick 105, and a future 5th round pick, we moved up 2 spots to select our potential quarterback of the future, that being Jackson Dart out of Ole Miss. There's been a lot of rumors swirling that the Giants, and particularly Brian Daboll, really like Jackson Dart. He's probably not going to fall out of the first round, and that 5th-year option is definitely a valuable asset as well for a quarterback. So moving into his 2024 stats, 70% completion percentage, 4,200 yards, passing, 29 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, with almost 500 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns. Positives for him, definitely above average arm strength. Not a guy who's going to blow, the stadium off with his arm strength, but he's definitely gotten enough of an arm to reach pretty much anywhere on the football field. He's a really good athlete. He's obviously been effective rushing the ball as well, extends plays, and Ole Miss did run a lot of QB design runs, which is something we know Brian Daboll liked to do with Daniel Jones. His downfield passing against one-on-one coverage, he definitely identifies it early, and he's willing to take those deep shots. Negatives for him, definitely like a slower mental processing than some of the other guys in this class, and that's partially to do just with Ole Miss's offense, which is obviously very isolated and not really a pro-style system. So it's a big adjustment we've seen from Ole Miss quarterbacks in the past. Think Matt Corral, and it's not always a smooth transition. But for Dart, I think the positives definitely are there, making him worth taking a chance on for very little draft capital and move on up to the end of the first round, Josh.
Moving, I guess, from the first round, then the end of the first round to the 3rd round. Round 3, pick 65, the Giants just addressed a quarterback spot. Now they're going to address another key position on the offensive side of the ball in terms of weapons. Running back Keyshawn Judkins out of Ohio State. I mean, we're talking about guys who have postseason experience. You saw that already with Abdul Carter. And now with Judkins out of Ohio State in 2024, had over 1,000 rushing yards, 14 touchdowns, 5.5 yards per rush. Over 1,000 rushing yards, by the way, in 3 straight seasons. 11 carries for 100 yards, and he had 2 touchdowns in the national championship game. 6 foot, 219 pounds. Difficult to break down. He forces missed tackles with his power and elusiveness. His burst and acceleration to pop through the initial layers of the defense really helps him out as well. Plus, level pass catchers out of the backfield, adding to his third down value. Although I wouldn't say his pass catching is really as good as other running backs in this draft, or really running backs in the NFL. That's something I think he could definitely improve on if he sees more of that. I think that wasn't really in the playbook at Ohio State, passing him out of the backfield. So he didn't really have to worry about that. He was more that, running back that breaks through tackles. And then well proportionate in terms of his build. As I said, in order to break through those tackles, 6 foot, 220, a lot of muscle there for Judkins. If you watched Ohio State this year, they were on Fox a lot, on primetime games, on, the big noon kickoffs. You saw him running around the field constantly. So definitely a good watch this year and a good pick for the Giants, I think, value-wise at pick 65 to get another young player alongside Tyrone Tracy in that running back room would be pretty cool.
Yeah, and obviously was in a split backfield as well. So something to keep in mind when looking at his stats from 2024. Moving now to the very end of the third round with that comp pick, number 99 overall. And we're sticking on the offensive side of the ball now, Josh. 3 picks in a row, all skill positions of sort, and that does not change with wide receiver Jalen Noel out of Iowa State. Big Senior Bowl, impressive scouting combine has definitely propelled him up draft boards. 5'11", 200 pounds, 2024. He had over 12 or almost 1,200 yards passing or receiving, 8 touchdowns. He had 8 catches for 117 yards and 1 touchdown in, yes, I'm about to say this, the Pop-Tarts Bowl. Positives for him, very quick-footed guy who definitely gets moving right away from the line of scrimmage. He's a really good cutter at the top of his routes. He really creates space well in terms of his route running and as a separator. And he definitely has that burst that you can see throughout his tape. Negatives with him, definitely dealt with a lot of drops, especially earlier in his college career. Got a little bit better this season, but still an issue. And his catch radius is definitely limited compared to some of the other guys in this class, which is why he's, falling more on this end of day 2 range. But yeah, that's Jalen Noel. And Josh, the next guy, I just, for some reason, couldn't stop thinking about him from our last mock draft. So I had to add him in again, I guess.
Round 5, pick 154, as Alex mentioned, defensive tackle Elijah Roberts out of SMU. 6'4", 278 pounds. He had 35 tackles, 1 pass deflection, 7.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles this past season. He had even more sacks, adding 2 on in 2023. So I guess a less prominent season this past year, but has shown his potential in the last few seasons. Solid size for sort of an odd front defensive end with solid length, again, 6'4", 280 almost. And he sets up his pass rush moves well, by stemming outside to then win on the inside, or vice versa for that matter. And also good pass rush motor to get coverage sacks. Round 5, pick 154, the Giants continue to address the defensive line. They pick Elijah Roberts out of SMU here. We then go to our final couple picks, heading to round 7, that is.
Yeah, round 7. And, here it's a crapshoot. You're just looking for upside guys who can, plug and play in certain situational areas. And that's kind of what this guy is. Round 7, pick 219 with linebacker Kobe King out of Penn State. I think it's always valuable to get some guys from these bigger schools late in the draft. And Kobe King, 6'1", 251, definitely not an athletic specimen at the position. In 2024, he had 97 tackles, 3 sacks, and 1 forced fumble. Positives with him, he has a very thick build. He's very good at stuffing the run. He played at 248, actually, this past season. Really good instincts against the run, and he's able to really diagnose blocking schemes well and get in there for the tackle, and he's very, very physical on the ball as well. Negatives like I said, not a great athlete, not a fluid mover, and definitely got taken off the field also a lot in passing downs last season. So definitely a more first down linebacker, situational guy that you could bring in certain packages, but not your every down type of guy that I think a lot of people would be hoping for if you drafted a guy, say in the second or third round.
And moving to the next 7th round pick, it is pick 246, tight end Thomas Fedone out of Nebraska. Again, didn't even have a touchdown in this last season. 4 touchdowns in 2023. 36 catches, 373 yards, and 0 touchdowns, as I mentioned. So just kind of a guy that you can throw in the tight end room. Hope he makes the roster. 53-man roster after they cut down, maybe a practice squad player, if anything. He's a linear athlete with good strength, and his build-up speed after getting off the O-line, getting into his routes. Tall, lean build, great arm length, wingspan to make plays at the catch point. And then his run blocking, too, for when he has to block for Judkins, who the Giants just picked in this draft out of Ohio State. There you go. So that's how he'll help out his future 2025 teammates if this draft class goes exactly according to plan in this mock draft. But that is going to do. Let's run through it one more time real quick. But round 1, pick 3, edge Abdul Carter out of Penn State. Giants trade back into round 1, pick 31 for pick 33, pick 105, and a future 5th round pick with the Kansas City Chiefs to get their possible quarterback of the future in Jackson Dart out of Ole Miss. Round 3, pick 65, running back Quinshon Judkins out of Ohio State. Round 3, pick 99, wide receiver Jalen Newell out of Iowa State. Don't want to mix those two up when you have those back-to-back, Ohio and Iowa states, respectively. Anyway, round 5, pick 154, defensive tackle Elijah Roberts out of SMU. Round 7, pick 219, linebacker Kobe King out of Penn State. Round 7, pick 246, tight end Thomas Fedone out of Nebraska. That does it for TGT Mock Draft 2.0 for this 2025 NFL Draft.